Good? We're good. We're good. Coming in live. Coming in live. 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 Coming in. There we go. Okay. 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 And... there we go. And this is a... what is this? This is a mod found on Reddit. Trailer, Stanley Parable. It's a mod. I guess they're developing it to be bigger now. This is the mod for Half-Life 2. It's free. You can get it on Desura or ModDB. Desura, that other platform for playing video games. So, adventure-esque narrative. Start. And scene.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
That's
Stanley
me.
worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor next to his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
And
then one day,
camera.
something very
Damn it.
peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on a monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and walked out into the hallway.
there we go. Still Turtle Beach. Oh, okay. Welcome. I have control. I'm assuming direct control. I'm a ghost. I'm a vampire. I'm just gonna get out of here.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his
Yeah,
co-workers.
just check on my employees.
He never functioned well by
my
himself.
coworkers, you
and
know, see
constantly
how they're
needed
doing.
support and guidance from others.
Oh,
so the thought
this
of total
guy,
solitude was
right here,
terrifying to him.
425. I'll tell you what. He had sex with his sister, thinking it was a dog. Wonder where 424 is. She is 425's sister. Yep, that's how it rolls here. Let's see here. We're going to...
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, entered the door on my left. Duh. Let's see. No mail for me.
As Stanley entered the lounge, he was horrified to find not a
fuck is
single
everybody?
person here. He decided he would walk up to see his boss, hoping that he would find an answer there.
Yeah, this is what Project 509's working on right here. He's trying to get some funding from DoD.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You gotta listen to that narrator.
Entering his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Wow, there's
It
no
was at this
jump on.
point that he began to feel dizzy and a little sick, and
Yeah,
even
it's
thought he
dizzy.
might pass out when suddenly he noticed a keypad next to the filing cabinet in the corner of his boss's office. Stanley had never seen this panel before and had no idea what combination of numbers would produce any result. In fact, only Stanley's boss knew this, since the panel withheld access to the boss's greatest, darkest secret. And so he had assigned the keypad a combination that only he could possibly know. The number of his freshman dorm number in college.
427.
1957.
So,
But of course, Stanley
15,
couldn't possibly have known
97.
this.
5, 9, 7. 1, 5. Well. Right, hold on. 1, 5, 9, 7.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
Wait,
Trying to
what was
input
it?
anything on the keypad
Oh.
was useless, since he could never possibly
There we
know
go.
that the combination was
Whoa.
1957.
Was that there the whole time?
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code
Whoa.
by sheer luck. Amazing. Stanley ventured forth
The
into the
fuck?
newly opened passageway.
Huh. Weird.
As he drew deeper into the bowels of the building, Stanley had no idea where he was or what this place held. And just as he began to think he might not discover a thing, he emerged into a long
Very
room to
Bastion-like.
find
Bum, bum,
rows
bum, bum, bum,
and
bum,
rows of monitors.
This is like,
Screens with a number above it.
what do you call it?
Stanley noticed, however, that these were
Matrix.
not random numbers, but the number of employees who worked in the building, his co-workers. Even his own number, 427, had a place on the wall. But why a setup so elaborate, he asked. Was this simple surveillance or something even more? And as if in answer to his question, the wall slid open before him,
Whoa.
revealing the ultimate truth of the situation. An enormous control panel, Stanley discovered, but not one that controlled simple machinery. Buttons were labeled with emotions. Happy, sad. Levers and knobs controlled actions. Walking, eating, doing work, or watching TV.
I've become a sentient.
Every input on this device monitored not the functions of a machine, but of a human being. And the reality began to sink in.
So good.
Stanley, like so many other people, reduced to images on a monitor, had been under someone's control, always at the mercy of this machine. Could this have been the only reason employee number 427 was content with his boring job? That a machine had altered his emotions to accept it blindly? He began to feel an unbridled rage, and at the peak of his anger, something happened. A spark. Stanley looked up and saw the generator overhead, still providing some small amount of power to the machine.
That's like
Keeping
high
it
res
alive.
textures.
And knowing that this generator was all that kept the controls running, Stanley moved to the ladder in the back of the room and began to climb towards the rafters. The higher Stanley climbed, the closer he felt to freedom, the further from enslavement.
Boop, boop, boop. I got this. Disable the generator. Or engage it. Disable? Or disable it. Yep. Oh. Did I finish the game?
Blackness.
Okay.
Power gone, all alone, and then
I'm scared. Oh my god. Oh Jesus! I'm like just sitting here. I was like, huh, what's going on? But I guess shit's still visible.
as he stepped through the door into the fresh outside air, a feeling of liberation rushed through Stanley's body. He had seen power, he had seen enslavement, and he had destroyed it. The underling was in control now. He had found his leading role. Stanley never discovered why everyone had gone missing, nor how and when he had come under the machine's control. But it didn't upset him terribly, because he knew that this was how things were meant to happen. All he felt was a delight unlike any he had ever known before. Never again would he follow someone else's orders without question.
Oh,
Never
Jesus.
again would anyone tell Stanley where to go, what to do, or
This is like
how
Dear
to
Esther.
feel. No more bosses. No more instructions on a screen. Stanley decides for himself now. And he stepped out into the world, and he felt the cool breeze upon his skin. And Stanley was happy.
Because he wasn't in control. Shit. Oh man, that's deep. So, clearly, I did stuff weirdly. Clearly. Okay. One more time. Narrated. Okay. New game. Roll. Clip. Okay. 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 I am a vampire. In this universe.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his co-workers.
I got this.
He
I know
never
what to
functioned
do.
well by himself.
I gotta
and
click everything.
constantly needed support and
Pixel it.
guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
So, I...
When
go-
Stanley came to a set
Fuck
of
you.
two open
Fuck the
doors,
man.
this was not the correct way to the employee lounge, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Whoa.
So he turned left at the first open door and walked back in the right direction.
No, narrator. Fuck you. Taking,
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Maybe this is why everyone had left. No one wanted to be around someone as bad at listening as he. And since he was walking
Shut
into
up,
the middle
narrator.
of nowhere and thus ruining the entire story, Stanley decided that he would punish himself. So when he came to the elevator and the doors opened, he stepped inside and pushed the button to go up.
Nope. Just gonna stand right here. Stand right here. No, open the door. Open the door. No, it's a bad place. It's a bad place. It's a bad place. This is gonna open anytime, any second now. I can hear it. It's opening. Yeah, that means it's opening. It's working. Yeah, I can also do it over here. Fuck it. And wait, where do I go? Where'd he say? Up. There we go. Think I broke it. I wasn't supposed to go this way. It's too quiet. It's way too quiet. Why is it quiet? Why is it quiet? Why is it quiet? The fuck? No. No. Something's wrong. Oh, Jesus. No.
It almost perplexed Stanley that he had actually gone and stepped into this metal trap. After all, it should have been no surprise that this thing would lead him to his death. But he thought to himself, this is simply the price to pay for ruining a perfectly good story. So he resigned and willingly accepted his fate, the inevitable end toward which he had spent so long stumbling. Farewell, Stanley.
It's not gonna hit me. It's not gonna hit me. I am one with the narrator. I'm alive.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator as he sent his subject down the conveyor belt and into the enormous metal jaws.
What the fuck?
In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Different narrator. Whoa. But I'm alive. Holy shit. This is pretty cool. Just gonna...
It's a shame, then, that for all his work, it was such a meaningless victory for the narrator. Did he really think he would accomplish anything by murdering this disposable vessel?
Panel! Panel! Why aren't you giving me orders? Panel? Whoa. We gotta turn this. No. This is weak. Holy shit.
Every possible choice Stanley could make had been designed for him long before he ever set foot here. The narrator wanted to kill him. Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start.
Huh. Interesting. And now I'm free. Oh, Jesus.
There's no salvation for either of these two, I'm afraid. The narrator had as little power over Stanley as Stanley did
The
over
narrator
the paths
of
that
the
he
narrator.
walked.
Yeah? I don't know.
But listen
Whoa.
to me. This story is not over.
Well, I hope not.
You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now, and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Wow. And... credits? Huh. I guess this... hit escape. Holy shit. Okay, so there's some stuff I could have done differently. Okay. Multiple playthroughs. Cool. I'm a vampire? Wait. That's not my... oh my god, I'm so dumb. That's not even... this is not a mirror. This is... where the fuck is that? There's a door over there. How do you get over there? There's a door. It's open. I will find that door. Okay.
Stanley decided to go to
Don't
the
worry,
staff
you're
lounge to check on his co-workers.
You're only...
He never functioned well by himself
Ollie,
and
look
constantly
out for me.
needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the employee lounge, and
I'm gonna
Stanley
go
knew it
down
perfectly
the
well.
elevator.
So he turned left at the first open door
Nope, we're going
and walked
down
back
the
in the
elevator.
right direction. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's
Okay,
incredible he
we
wasn't
gotta
5
work
years ago.
all the way to the
Maybe
end
this is
and then
why
backwards.
everyone had left.
That's how we work.
No one wanted to be around someone as bad at listening as him. And since he was walking into the middle of nowhere and thus ruining the entire story, Stanley decided that he would punish himself.
Look at this
So when he came to the
fascinating
elevator
texture.
and the doors
It
opened,
repeats.
he stepped inside and pushed the button to go up.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Down.
Oh, Stanley.
Fuck you, narrator.
You know,
you're gonna kill me
You
now.
really aren't going anywhere, and I don't say
No,
that
man,
deceitfully.
I'm from the
truthfully mean
future.
that there isn't a story
I'm in a
down
time
here.
loop.
The story was
It's
back up where I
Groundhog
told you to
Day.
go in the first place. Right now, you're just running around looking at empty halls. And frankly, that's perhaps even more infuriating for me. So why don't you throw me a bone, give me a chance, and just let me tell the story I want to tell, hmm?
No. Can I go down? No. Can I go up? No. Okay. I'm never going to see that elevator again, am I? Let's just make sure it's still there, just in case this is not some anti-chamber stuff where shit like gets a little bit crazy.
Now listen carefully.
Okay.
This is important.
Fuck you.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Shit. Oh my god. Okay. He knows that I'm going to take the blue door. Wait, the red door. Wait, no, the blue door. Because I haven't been following him. So he says the red door, and he wants me to do the blue door. So, but I don't want to follow his orders because it leads me into self-reflection. So I'll take the blue door.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Blue door. Oh, Jesus, this is different. I'm scared. Blue door.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Blue door. We got this. Don't worry, narrator.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
I'm scared now.
You see? It's nothing. No one's even built this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
Holy shit,
it's
this
just
is
a
great.
bunch of skybox and dev wall textures.
This is great.
That's it. Is this what you were looking for? Was it worth ruining the story
Yes,
I'd
it
written out for
was.
you?
So you know what that
I
means.
put a lot of time into that. And now
Backwards.
well, here you are now, just looking at nothing. To think that that's all I needed to make in the first place,
That's
just
a
a whole
fucking
lot of nothing,
soul
and you
fucking
would have been
wall.
happy. Well, hey, you still need a little something to do.
Wait.
Am I right? Here, let me load up another map. See if there's something in here that'll keep you occupied. Ah, here's one. Let's
Stand in the corner.
boot this up. We'll see if you like it.
Whoa. Oh. This is... Whoa. Holy shit. This is getting weird.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? I don't know why it would be. This map wasn't even made for you. At least I created a world specifically with you in mind. I wanted to make you a leading man. This one, well...
Well,
I'm
I
afraid
know
you're on
your
own
world,
now.
the world of happiness, and where I follow myself into... Wait, is this Half-Life? Is this the intro to Half-Life? Whatever. Can I... Wait. Wait. It is the map for Half-Life. Can I go this way? Okay, might as well. Whoa! What the fuck? Okay. Pick up that gun. Okay. Pick up that gun. There we go. Okay, we're good. Okay, wait. Oh, fuck yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fucking break the shit out of this. Okay, we're gonna stack these. Okay, he wants us to go through that door. He wants us. The Precious wants us to go through that door. But no. I got this. We're gonna break into that side and break the game. Yeah, see, almost. I just realized there's no jump, so that's not gonna work. Okay, well, the precious is precious. The fuck kind of light is that? For Easter eggs. Okay.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid.
That hurt
He probably
feelings.
only got his job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That, or with drug money. Also,
Drug
Stanley
money.
is addicted to drugs and hookers.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole. That would be voice commands need to be in this game. So I can tell this guy he's an asshole. Jerk off.
Look up, Passport. I spent so long talking about you. Why don't we just take a break from that and talk about something else for a change?
Panel.
Let's see. Well, according to Wikipedia, more than 90% of the night sharks caught off northeastern Brazil contain mercury concentrations higher than that considered safe by the local government. Now, this is fascinating. Don't you want to know more about the night sharks?
Would you like to know
Oh,
more?
no, of course not.
Yes, I do.
All you want to hear about is yourself, isn't it?
Oh.
Well, fine. You haven't listened to me once so far. I can't expect you to turn that around now, can I?
Well, technically, I've been listening to you, but doing what you say, completely different.
Is this the end of the line? I don't suppose this was a particularly fulfilling experience for you, considering not a single art aspect in this map was created with you in mind. Hey, you're a creative kid. I bet you can come up with a story about this place and why you're in it. And while you're doing that, why don't you think up an ending too? Because you certainly won't find one here. I'm afraid that's the long and short of it. This room and these walls are all you get. Maybe the story ends when you decide you can't live in this futuristic science fiction dystopia world, and you gallantly commit suicide.
Is this a...
Or maybe you stand in this spot for...
Oh, Jesus!
Hold on, what are you doing?
I was like, there was a piece of garbage. I see it there. I see a white light.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me?
I don't need you.
Can't do it, you know that. Stanley,
Oh my God, it's full of stars. And scene. Well, that was fun. Remember that one time I had sex with her, and then that one time I did that? I don't know if this is another timeline, or is this continuum of the timeline? There is no... There's no... So this is continuum of the timeline. Okay, so this is the last I can take. Right here, we'll take this. Whoa.
It's sad, I know, but all stories must come to an end. Of course, they say it's the journey that truly matters and not the destination.
Jesus Christ, the
and I
narration
like
is
that
badass
idea.
in this fucking game.
To think we might value the paths we walk as much as the places they lead us. Now, I don't know what sort of story you've ciphered out of that world you've made for yourself, but I hope that being the leading man was everything it's cracked up to be. I know it can be a little hard getting around without someone looking over your shoulder, but this is simply the nature of freedom. Besides, I haven't really gone anywhere. Maybe you don't want a guide, but I think I'll always have a place here at the end of every story.
Wait,
I'll
is
step
that
in
it?
and wrap things up with a nice piece of dialogue and a reflection on life that makes sense of whatever path you've chosen to walk. And for now, I'm happy to be the destination instead of the journey. But only for now.
Is there... Wow. Holy shit. Damn. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Let's try one more. I think we can do something different. New game. Start new. Again, this is on the Sura. Requires Source SDK.
This is the story of a man.
Whoa. Was it?
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself. and constantly needed
The
support and
fuck?
guidance
Maybe
from
I
others.
alt-tab and
So the
close
thought
it.
of
Yeah, it
total
looks like
solitude blew him.
some sort of lighting glitch or something.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
Let's-
doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the employee lounge, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. So he turned left at the first open door and walked back in the right direction. And like that, he was back on track. As Stanley entered the lounge, he was horrified to find not a single person here. He decided he would walk up to see his boss, hoping that he would find an answer there.
Oh, I could go down. I forgot.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I don't know.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, of admitting that he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, was it really worth taking that risk? All because he believed everyone had disappeared? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. Everyone I know simply vanishing out of the blue, there's almost no other explanation for it. And a nagging fear began to creep up in his mind. Questions that had been there all along. He just hadn't put his finger on them yet. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Holy shit!
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Was he just walking around in circles? Where am I, he thought. And the more he found himself unable to answer these questions,
This is a different room, man.
the more
This is
questions
different
continued to arise,
room.
until he came to the issue that had been slowly balling until he could ignore it no longer. Why is there a voice in my head, dictating everything that I'm doing
Oh
and
man,
thinking?
this is great.
Suddenly, every door slammed shut.
Nope,
No! Stanley screamed. I need to get out of here.
Holy
I need
shit.
to know that there's something out there. I need to know it's not just all in my head. And he screamed and clutched at his skull as the voice grew harsher and the music in the background rose higher and higher. And then, moments before collapsing to the ground, Stanley clenched his fists and screamed to anyone who might be listening, I'm not real! I'm not real! Don't believe any of it! None of it's real! And then everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What the fuck?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She got dressed, went to work, clocked in, clocked out, and then
This
she
is
walked
some
home.
fucking serious
But her
great
walk
shit.
on this day was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Moments after seeing him, she would turn, run to the nearest police station, and call for an ambulance. But for just a few brief seconds, she merely stood there, unable to move. The tragedy was not the death of a single person. It was that she would never know this man's story, never hear in his own words what had happened to him, or what he believed had happened to him. For to know these things would be to exist inside the head of the man himself. So all she could do was observe from a distance and pity him. But Mariella had places to be and people to meet with, very important people, whose impressions of her would affect her career and indeed the rest of her life. She stood there for only a moment, looking down at the body, and then she ran.
Holy shit, dude. Wow. Seems keep on going. I think I can do one more. I think I can do one more. Do one more. God damn it, the alt tabbing. Yeah, it's the alt tabbing, man.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge
Yeah.
to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself, and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, he's not narrating me. I'm not leading his narration. He's behind me.
As Stanley entered the lounge, he was horrified to find not a single person here. He decided he would walk up to see his boss, hoping that he would find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, okay. So that's the trigger.
Entering his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. It was at this... Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. Stanley ventured forth into the newly opened. As he drew deeper into the bowels of the building, Stanley had no idea where he was or what this place held.
Like, this is
And just
speedrun.
as he
This is
began
speedrun,
to think
Stanley.
he might not
This is
discover a
speedrun.
thing, he emerged into a long room to find
Oh, yes.
rows and
I can
rows
activate
of
the thing.
monitors. Screens with a number above it.
Come on. Come on.
Stanley noticed, however, that these were not random numbers, but the number of employees who worked in the building, his co-workers. Even his own number, 427, had a place on the wall. But why a setup so elaborate, he asked. Was this simple surveillance, or something even more? And as if in answer to his question, the wall slid open before him, revealing the ultimate truth of the situation. An enormous control panel, Stanley discovered, but not one that controlled simple machinery. Buttons were labeled with emotions. Happy, sad.
I can disable it.
Levers and knobs controlled actions.
Or I can...
Walking, eating, doing work, or watching TV. Every input on this device monitored not the functions of a machine, but of a human being. And the reality began to sink in. Stanley, like so many other people, reduced to images on a monitor, had been under someone's control, always at the mercy of this machine. Could this have been the only reason employee number 427 was content with his boring job? That a machine had altered his emotions to accept it?
Come on, just speedrun.
He began to feel an unbridled rage, and at the peak of his anger, something happened. A spark. Stanley looked up and saw the generator overhead, still providing some small amount of power to the machine, keeping it alive. And knowing that this generator was all that kept the controls running, Stanley moved to the ladder in the back of the room and began to climb towards the rafters.
I gotta enable it, dude. That's how we restore the continuum.
The higher Stanley climbed, the closer he felt to freedom, the further
man.
from enslavement.
Closer I feel to enslavement. Because I've been listening to you. Listening to you. Engage.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After it kept you enslaved all these years,
No.
you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what
Yes.
you wanted?
Oh, yeah.
Control?
Oh my god, this
Stanley.
is fucking...
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were meant to let it go, turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you have. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized that he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Oh, let's make it say, 2 minutes. Now, this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? Go ahead.
Open the
Play
door.
with those controls all
You
you
can
like.
open this door.
The
You
real
can save
controls
me.
are where I'm sitting.
Narrator.
Did you really ever believe you held any power? Did you not think I knew what I was doing? When I erased your co-workers and turned off the machine, I was offering you freedom, an escape. I didn't have to do that. I've run this story many times, and I don't always set you free. Sometimes you just sit there, day after day after day, doing your job forever, and then dying alone. But when I actually give you the freedom to control your own actions, it's not enough.
Yeah, but you're not
I
controlling
let you
me.
go, and you trapped yourself just the same. You just weren't made to handle this sort of responsibility, I'm afraid.
Fucking Matrix.
But you know what you were made for? Pushing buttons. You get it now? Now I'm enjoying this. Tell you what, I'll throw some extra time on the clock just because I'm having so much fun. There we go. You see, I want to watch you for every long second you try to puzzle this out. After all, it should make sense, right? The timer, the nuclear detonation, the mysterious facility, it's all here. This is a video game.
No. This
Except
is
for
real.
one thing there, hero. You've got no weapon, no vehicle. You don't even know where you're going. When you saw that timer, you just instinctively started trying to find an exit, didn't you? In fact, I bet you're still looking for a way out.
Nope.
I bet you're clicking on everything in this room,
Nope.
trying to open doors or vents or something and solve the puzzle. As though this game has a solution, as though it can be
This
won.
is not a video game. This
That
is real
timer
life.
is not a
This is
catalyst
my
to
life.
keep things
You
moving
narrator,
along.
You can't
It's
fuck
just
with me,
seconds
'cause
ticking
there is
away
no,
to your death.
No, there's no
This is
detonation.
not a challenge. It's a tragedy. It's the moment when the hero
test.
realizes that despite his best efforts, he is powerless to his environment. And then he lets go. He surrenders. And he dies. 30 seconds, Stanley. 30 seconds. Until a boom, and then nothing. No ending to this story, just you dying. I suppose you could have gotten an actual ending if you played along, but that
I did.
just wouldn't have been
I
your
did,
style,
narrator,
would it?
and you fucking sent me
Instead,
to
you'll perish
a
knowing that
perfect
the only
existence,
choice you
but I
made here
can't
was to
be
turn on that
perfect
machine and
because
to start this timer.
humanity is
You
complex.
won't be alone, because I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here to watch every second of your inevitable life from the time we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
I think that's it. That's everything. Well, thanks for watching. This is on Desura. You can get that now. It's what is it? Hold on. Stanley Parable. It's on Desura. You can look it up on ModDB. You can install it without that. Without Desura, but Desura is pretty great for mods and all that stuff. There's tons of other mods for other games for that. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you were watching, what button is that?